So as far as TV adaptations go, The Witcher might be one of the worst ones out there. It's not only a bad adaptation, it's outright disrespectful to the fans of the source material.
Got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
And when the only person involved with the show who cares about respecting the source material and being accurate quits after 3 seasons, it's not a good look at all. Now, this is going to be a quick no bullshit review of the show, but I'll try to cover as much points as I can. So tighten your seatbelts and don't forget to click that subscribe button before we jump in. Now, season 1, even though still not a good adaptation, wasn't completely terrible. I mean, yes, removing Geralt in series time in Brooklyn did do a lot of damage, but back then they had time to repair it and we as fans could still hope. But instead of working on the flaws and repairing the damage that had already been done, they deviated even more from the books and in the worst way possible. Now, I don't mean that deviations from the source material are bad in any way. A lot of times they work as well, but they have to be authentic with the story, lore, characters and world. I mean, just look at The Last of Us episode 3. Well, anyways, moving on. They cooked up a whole lot of disgusting fanfiction for season 2, turned Eskel into a Leshen, and they killed him off for God knows what reason. Not to mention, they absolutely ruined Yennefer and Vesemir. And now came season 3, already in trouble because of Henry Cavill announcing his departure beforehand and Blood Origin being the shitstorm that it was. Season 3 might not have a terrible fanfiction story like in the last few episodes of season 2, but it does absolutely nothing to do justice to the amazing world and characters of The Witcher. It instead puts salt on the wound that was season 2. They left out integral parts of Blood of Elves in favor of their fanfiction bullshit in season 2. And guess what? They finally realized all the shit they left was actually important, and they're trying to do that now when they're supposed to be adapting Time of Contempt. And they succeed in adapting none of those. It's a complete mess. Remember when Lauren Hissrich said this? That story comes first. Liar! Watching season 3 made me see again just how terrible the dialogue in this show is. The constant F-bombs and cheesy one-liners makes this show seem like a corny teenage drama instead of a fantasy show with complex situations and moral dilemmas. They have some incredible dialogue right in front of their eyes, but for some reason they choose to ignore it and write stuff like this.
Nice scar, shithead.
Firefucker.
Unfortunately, yes.
If you want to be a queen, be a queen.
I literally just heard it. I heard the whole thing in my trailer, and I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard. Everyone's laughing, by the way, but it's true because everybody's heard it too. Everyone heard it, right? They look at all. Everyone's like, yeah, big piece of dog shit.
I'm not even gonna say anything about Dandelion having a relationship with Radovid out of all people, because honestly, even that is not the worst thing about the show. They did try to do damage control to Yennefer's character with all those bonding scenes from the very first episode. But it just doesn't work when you made the worst possible decision in having Yennefer almost sacrifice Ciri. I mean, there's just no coming back from that. And how easily Geralt forgives her makes no sense at all. And who in the hell thought that it would be a good idea for Geralt and Yennefer to use serious bait to draw out Rience?
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Definitely something Geralt and Yennefer would do. Incredible writing. And the Thaneth Ball. Oh god. I mean, they did get some things right, like Vilgefortz and Geralt's conversation and Geralt's moment with Yennefer. But all of it just feels so shallow and empty because of no real connection between the characters, no development. And the ball, for some reason, feels like a Hollywood Met Gala instead of feeling like a magical fantasy ball. Kudos, Netflix. Now, I did like some small nods like Yennefer making fun of Sabrina's ridiculous cleavage, and Ciri Dandelion dubbing Geralt in Yennefer. But you just know that it's not good when things like that are the only things that are accurate. The reveal just feels underwhelming because of how underdeveloped Vilgefortz is in the show, how he doesn't even feel like a real threat. There are no stakes, no build up, and the consequence just feels lifeless. And by the way, who thought Geralt would let Ciri go against Aeshna alone? These people are doing it on purpose. If not, I am totally convinced that they have never read the books. Now let's come back to Yennefer. Anya does everything she can here. But when you've already ruined the character and all your efforts to repair that damage are failing, there's nothing that can be done. Speaking of Yennefer, the casting director just said that they wanted to challenge beauty standards with Yennefer's casting. Two big things I'd like to say here. First, that Yennefer has never been claimed as the most beautiful woman in the Witcher world. And second, this statement here makes it seem like she's calling Anya unattractive. Liar! How could you think that this woman is not incredibly beautiful and talented? And if she means to challenge beauty standards by casting Anya, either she doesn't share that opinion or she's a racist and thinks only white women are beautiful. Well, moving on with that, even the costume and makeup department for this season is not up to mark for the budget this show has. Why do the costumes look so unauthentic and cheap? And what's with the overly modern makeup on Freya Allen's face or the eyeliner on Dandelion? Geralt's armor this season was pretty good, I'll give them that. The CGI and sets are not up to the mark, and House of the Dragon puts this show to shame in that department. Not only that department, House of the Dragon puts this show to shame in every other aspect. Now let's try to get this over with. Everything I've been hearing about this show since season 3 aired has been, I don't even know what to say.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Now on to the conclusion and the biggest thing, Henry Cavill's departure. The big farewell that the showrunner promised was going to be a heroic send-off, and the transition to Geralt being played by Liam Hemsworth was going to feel natural and authentic. Liar! Well, big surprise, it does not. It doesn't even feel like a proper farewell. That guy did everything he could to make this show watchable. And to be honest, he's the only reason I've watched. And I'm pretty sure that he's the only reason the majority of the audience watched for as well. And it makes me deeply saddened to see that amazing man had to leave. He came on that show because he wanted to play Geralt, because he loved The Witcher 3. Then he read the books and he loved the books as well, and he wanted a show that was accurate to the source material. He wanted that not because the fans asked him. They didn't ask him. He already knew. He's a fan himself. He did get to play Geralt, but I'm sad that the show didn't give him the respect that he deserved for carrying it on his back for 3 seasons. I mean, just imagine ruining something so much that Henry Cavill has to leave his dream role. Now, no matter how many more seasons of this they make, or whatever they say, The Witcher is officially dead and over, at least for me. And I hope it is for other fans as well.